The woods can be dense for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. I just want to send a quick text message, let somebody know. There you go. Hi. That's all I had. Oh, you were the person I was texting. Hi, Ingrid. So you're about to get a text from me, letting you know that I'm going live. So, man. So before I get started on survival and Metallica, which I think is a pretty interesting topic, yes, I'm going to talk about Metallica in survival mode, man. You know, I certainly do not mind when people say, "Hey, Dion, that might be a little wrong," and things like that. But there are some people that do nothing but look for your mistakes and what you're going to do. And those people I have a problem with. And I'm trying to figure out a good way to say, hey, you're going to meet a boundary on that. I'm trying to figure out how to get it done because I don't like it. That shit pisses me off. I do not appreciate passive aggressive shit. I just don't. If you just come on to make bad remarks or to contradict what I say and you don't like any of my stuff or share it, then just go the fuck away, man. If I'm irritating you that bad, then go away. I don't want to be your friend. I don't. Okay. Let's get started with this. I am going to let everybody kind of know this announcement. I don't know what's going on with Daily Trudge, but I'm just not getting that many people, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. See, they just pop off. Nobody wants to hear. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's like nobody wants to hear what I'm saying, and it makes me, I hate it. So anyway, welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. 4 years. 4 years. Why do I only get a few people? And it drives me mad. All right. If you're here, please say hello. So yes, I'm kind of I am in a little bit of a mood. It's been a hard day for me, and I'm not sure why, but I'm just a tell on myself here real quick. I'm letting other people rent space in my head for free again. I'm really good at that. So I'm telling on myself so that I can't talk about it now. I mean, I can, but that's not what we're talking about here. All right, we got some people here. Hi, friend. It says Facebook user, so I'm not quite sure. If anybody has any suggestions on how I can cut Facebook out of all of this, please let me know. I would love to do that. Okay. And I know a lot of us went through this. We had our challenges as kids. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that have gone through some of the things that I have, maybe a little different. But I had a lot of trauma as a kid. I had a lot of trauma. I wasn't popular. And I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for that other stuff. I'd like to say I'm past all of it, but PTSD doesn't just go away. It just doesn't. Okay. Sometimes I get intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts. Of course, Ingrid. Yeah, I do whatever I can to support my friends, man, and you're actually a close friend of mine. I consider you a friend. Um, so I had a lazy eye, I still have one. Hey, Jerry, good to see you, brother. And I still have it. You probably won't know it. You may notice it every now and again. You can kind of see it. See how it's just a little bit more off, right? So I had to wear an eye patch. That wasn't too big of a deal, right? I had speech impediments. Uh, I was bored in school. I hated school. Hated it. I didn't really mind learning because I love to educate myself, but I had mostly educated myself. I dropped out of high school. I have a choice. I was put away at 14, right? And it's kind of hard to keep track of your school stuff and to do it the right way when you're moved from group home to group home every 2 to 3 months. And that's what they do, or that's what they did back then. Um, and even before that happened, we had to learn how to survive when we were kids. And both my parents worked. I was a latchkey kid, and if you want to know what a latchkey kid is, it means that we had the key to the house, or we knew where it was hidden because our parents weren't home when we got home from school. Um, yeah, well, see, not the only one. I did the same thing. What I started doing was a lot of reading, and so then well, I got more educated. I was bored. I was so bored in school. I get bored in trainings and everything else because it moves so fucking slow. I would rather learn on my own. So, I mean, I'm not going to go in deep, but what I'd like to talk about is coming home, home, being home, having a home, feeling like you're home. Because I'd never felt that way as a kid, and it was made quite apparent. So, I was just a skinny white boy from white suburbia America who had pissed off his parents enough that I was out of control. I was out of control, but you know, they asked me what was going on, and I told them, and they put me away for it. So you could imagine, I wasn't too willing to share how I felt about things. And I'm old enough that I went into the crazy. I was in the nut house. I'm that old. I'm so at the age of 14, suddenly Dion became popular because he was the crazy kid. Because he was the crazy, I was the crazy kid. Oh, he went to the nut house. You gotta watch that guy. I was the bad boy. Right? And the girls crawled all over me because I was a bad boy now. There were times when I was in a group home, I would leave in the middle of the night, go hook up with my girlfriend, and come back, and they wouldn't even know. I hope my wife's not here. Weird. Within hearing range. Don't tell her. She would just laugh anyway. Yeah, ouch. I'm sorry to hear that. But at least you can handle, and we have more information now, right? Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. So the psychiatric center wasn't necessarily that bad, but that isn't where it would end. So I went through the psychiatric center and I came back home. Um, Now, when I was 14, I was starting high school. So I was the youngest kid in my class at all times. So that means when everybody else was getting their license, I didn't get mine. When everybody else was getting to do this stuff, I didn't get to be a part of, and I've never been able to be a part of. And it still happens to me this day, and it hurts sometimes. Um, so from there I would run away and I would go to I would end up being in Gilliam Youth Center. It's jail for kids. Okay. And people are like, well, why are you in here? Because I ran away. Okay. These guys don't respect people that run away and get caught. No, no. I was a skinny white boy. I was the enemy. And I would share cells with people that beat up their dad, stealing stuff, things like that. So Dion had to learn how to sleep with one eye open. From there, I went to a group home. I would have one more time at home, but nah, it didn't work. And by the time I was 16, my parents had given up the rights to me and they didn't tell me. All right. So during this time, a song came out. Okay. A band came out. I didn't get pushed up. It's because my birthday's in September. That's why. It's the only reason why. It was just a cutoff date because of it. In Utah, I was the oldest. When I came here, I was the youngest. How'd that work? I don't know. I don't know. I just know I was the youngest. So, um, but I didn't get pushed up. No. They didn't know. And folks, I'm pretty intelligent. I know I am. I've always been highly intelligent. I see things all the time. I have a problem learning. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want it. I could do it myself. I've been taking care of myself all my life. I didn't need anybody to be doing this and doing that. And I especially didn't need my fucking parents. That's what I thought. That was my attitude. Right? So I'm not saying that my parents did the right thing because they didn't. But gosh, it would be nice if somebody if they would have taken accountability, saying, you know what, yeah, we went the wrong direction with you, and we're sorry. That would have helped a lot. My mom did that, but the man that raised me, I'll probably never talk to him again. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about coming home. So a band came out. I ended up going to I ended up going to an Iron Maiden concert at Red Rocks. And Guns N' Roses was supposed to open up for them, but Axl Rose is a bitch and he bitched out, and I'm glad he did. And they brought on a up and coming band named Metallica. I'm so old that I saw Cliff Burton play. All right. So don't be arguing. And this is not a Metallica argument about the Black Album. Okay. It sucks, period. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. They wrote this song called Welcome Home Sanitarium. And I still to this day have it memorized. And it became my theme song because that's exactly how I was treated. I got in trouble all the time for writing it on the walls. I would write out the whole thing on the walls. Dion, you gotta stop doing that. What are you gonna do? Put me away? All right. And I had to survive. Did my parents know about this? No. How would they know? They've never been a part of it. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't care. So when Metallica came out, I finally felt like somebody was on my fucking side. Finally. This badass band is speaking my language. Right? And I still listening to it to this day because it helps me. It helps me. I loved Metallica. I listen to anything Metallica before the Black Album. The rest of it's crap. Okay, I'm gonna let you know why. And it's not crap. Metallica is a fantastic band, but you must remember that they promised me. They promised me that they would never sell out. So when they did, it hurt. It hurt. And that's what a lot of us, yet nothing else matters, is a horrible song, in my opinion. But here's a good way. Jason Newsted, he was the second bass player. I think he put it right. He said, yes, we did sell out. We sold out Chicago. We sold out New York. We said, okay. But as a kid, this that was the disruption. This isn't about Metallica. All right. Um, Everybody was making videos, but they promised us. They said, If we ever," these were their own words, "if we ever make a music video, we have sold out." So, but that's not really what it's about. I only put it in there so more people would show up. So, um, these survival skills, um, that I adopted when I was a kid would be the same survival skills that I would try and use as an adult, and it just didn't work. We talk about emotional sobriety in AA a lot, and that's really what we're talking about here. Emotional sobriety. Did I have to did I have to survive as a kid? Yes, I did. Did a lot of you too? Yes. So you could imagine when we come to AA and find out that there's other people just like us, how your heart can be filled with hope. See, I needed hope when I was a kid, and nobody ever gave it to me. Every time I would start doing well, they would move me. It was very non-constructive. At one point, I was like level 3. I was doing fantastic in my schoolwork. I was doing everything right, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna move you." Okay, and I ran from that place. I did, and I did it so well. I'm not gonna tell the story today, but I did it so well that I ran away from there when I was 16. And when I was 32 years old, I would go back to fix a phone system there, and they still remembered me. How's that, motherfuckers? See, I played a game. I know how to play that game. I could play the therapist game all day. That's that's easy for me. Okay. My, there was this one time my mom said, "You're going to see this therapist downtown." And I told her, "Fuck, I am. No, I'm not." Yes, that's how I talked. Right? That's how my parents talked when they were drinking. Why should I not be able, right? Yeah. The thing is, I grew up way too fast. And I never really got to have a childhood. So now, as I'm older and I'm a different person, I find myself feeling 2, 3, 5 years old again, going through things. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Like after this, I'm going to go hop in my new car and run some errands. I'm kind of excited about that because I can go show off my new windshield. I'm So we get into AA, but yet we can be stuck in this survival mode. We can be stuck in it. Okay. And this is you may even get to a point. Let me put it this way. I did my fourth and fifth step and it did not solve the problem. It didn't solve the problem. And people in AA kept telling me that's a resentment. I'm like, it doesn't feel like a resentment. It was not a resentment, my friends. It was trauma. It was undealt trauma, period. And I had to concede to it. I had to accept it. And I do like coming on here and bringing hope. But sometimes I need to do that by telling you how bad things were. Mm. It wasn't until I got married to Shannon, who I'm married to now, got in the program and did what I needed to do. It wasn't till I felt like I was at home. And even then, sometimes I don't feel safe in my own home. You know? And so we have boundaries that we need to um, deal with, right? So if you find yourself doing the fourth and fifth step and not being alleviated due to some problems, I would highly recommend that you seek out therapy. It's what it says in the big book. If we're following the directions in the book, rarely have we seen a person fail. Bill W. went to therapy. Dr. Bob went to therapy. You think you don't have to? Oh, I've had horrible experiences with therapists. Well, you got to be honest with them or they can't help you. So no, I ain't buying it. Are there some bad therapists? Sure there are. There's there's bad things in bunches of people that has nothing to do with it. Okay? Um, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say on a lot of this. And to let people know, when we go through this stuff, you're not alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of people out there with aside from my alcoholism, I'm diagnosed with 4 other things, right? I have more diagnosis than I do close friends. Not really, but it was a funny joke. And no, it's not always easy. There are days when, like today, I'm letting people, I can't help myself. I can't. So I have to do things that distract me, like cleaning the house, like putting on Metallica really loud. That's how all this started. I'm like, oh, I just need something loud and I need it. Yeah. Yeah. And it worked. I utilize music a lot for my emotions. When I'm feeling depressed, you know what I do? I listen to depressing songs. It doesn't make me more depressed, it actually heals me because that's how I use it. Because when I hear those songs, I don't feel as alone. And gosh, isn't it good to be home? We've spent all of our lives chasing something that wasn't there. Yeah. Cars were stacked against us. And then it doesn't help that there's stigma abound. So, and these are all things that we have to deal with. So, when I say things like you're a walking fucking miracle, I mean it. All of us are. Yes, even the people that I don't like. See, I can love, but I don't have to like somebody. It's not required for me to love. If God says you need to help that person, I don't question him. I help who he tells me to help, period. I am not going to question his authority. I'm not. Absolutely. Aw. Kara, I've actually been thinking about you all day. So I'm gonna, since she's here, let's talk about something. So you guys have probably heard of mobilized recovery. Okay. Well, Kara and I are kind of close to Ryan Hampton. I mean, not like we're besties, but if I call him, he'll pick up. Okay. But I also don't abuse his personal number. Right. And so Dion got in touch with Ryan and said, hey, let's do some trudging together events with mobilized recovery next year. He's like, yeah, let's do that. But I think what would be really cool is if Kalamazoo and Denver just kind of, I know they're on separate sides of the country, but let's combine forces. Okay. And that way we can set Ryan up to come in with some really good speakers. So let's steal speakers from Kalamazoo, let's steal speakers from Denver, and let's support each other. We can raise enough money to cover our airfare. I'm getting this figured out. Okay. Why am I doing that? I'm going to tell you why. Because Kara backs me. Okay? And the rest of you do too. She got me a spot to sit in front of the Kalamazoo board, and it was fantastic. It was. It turned out really well. And I stole a lot of what they're doing. Yes, he does. And when I brought it, Aaron had sent me an email about some players aren't there, and I had to write back and say, well, you know what? We're doing stuff, and Kara is helping. And they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll be for everybody. I'm going to tell you, I'm tired of watching the mutual admiration societies going on out there and the popularity contest and the division that it's creating in Colorado. That's what bugs me. That's what sits in my brain most of the time. And I get frustrated because I feel powerless. Because I am. I can't change other people, but I can change laws. I can do that. See, I wrote them. Rap is about creating grassroots uh, legislation. And I need them to understand that when it comes to Colorado, I'm in the mix of it. I'm not political. Although I could probably run for Chamber of Commerce or something. I'd probably get it because there's not enough people. So that's funny. Laugh at that. Laugh at that. Okay. There's always something that we can do, right? But Bugs Bunny was wrong. We can't fight fire with fire. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And that's why it's hard because I need to do this the right way. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. I have to focus on me. Okay? And when it comes to things like this, I must check my intentions all the time. And I find sometimes that I'm getting angry because somebody's getting more attention than me. See? Is it fact? Yes, it is. And yes, it's hard when I know that a person is a body broker and that everybody loves them. And it's known. But yet I sit here and tell the truth and I'm honest about everything and what's going on. And whoop. But I don't spend a lot of time sharing to a bunch of groups. You know, if I did that, I would feel fake. Right? Not only that, but, and I'm going to wrap this up. Not only that, but I actually like small, intimate groups. I do. Unless I'm speaking, then I want thousands and thousands of people listening to me. I'm just being honest. And that's what frustrates me. I've been in this field 3 years. Not one person had asked me on a professional level to come and talk in Colorado. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? I do. Oh, Dion, can you help us out? We're not going to help you, but, I'm done with that. So, yeah. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And, like for me, I don't expect people to share my stuff. In fact, I think it is wrong for me to say, you need to share my stuff if you're going to. No, that's not it. Because I can say some pretty controversial things. And I do. And you may not want to be attached to that. And I don't blame you. I'm here to speak for the people that can't or won't yet. All right. I hope everybody has a better day, including me, all of us. I hope we all have a better day. So I'm going to go do a couple chores. I think I'm going to clean the house and be productive. All right. We're going to end with a couple of things here. I work with a lot of groups, but usually behind the scenes. I love putting people together. Yes, then I would be happy to work with you. It's kind of what I do too. And what that is that right there is just as important. That's creating service work. That's tradition 4 right there. Good job. Ingrid says, thank you, Dion. I relate so much you talk about. I'm glad so many people showed up. I hope you have a jamming day. All right. And I know it's her because I got the sun thing. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your sobriety. Thank you for your time. And thank you for everything that you do for God's children. I want you to know that I notice. I notice this stuff. I do. I love you guys. Peace out. And have a day, my